Craig Parker here, Parker's Property Sourcing, just coming at you with another video today. Today's video is about PMA. What is that, you ask? What is PMA? PMA is positive mental attitude. The reason for this video is because I have lots of conversations with people that aren't in property yet, that aren't in business yet, and want to get into business or want to get into property, but they don't have one thing. They don't have PMA. They don't have a positive mental attitude. So all the time that they're listening to the naysayers, listening to the people that are always going to be in the little comments saying their little jibes and giving their little jibes and putting negative spins on everything that's good, or everything that could be good for you. They are easily distracted by them sort of people. Me myself, being in property for this long now, and being in business for even longer, I have developed something called a positive mental attitude. Where did I get this from? Basically, years and years and years ago, before I had a business, before I owned a property, I remember sitting down with my mentor at the time. I didn't know he was my mentor at the time, but now looking back, he was definitely a mentor. And we was talking, and I just said to him, like, how did you manage to get so many properties? How did you manage to do it? And he told me and stuff, and then he said to me, I said to him, how can I do it? How can I replicate what you've done? Like, what do I have to do? And he's like, there's just one thing that everybody needs, and everything else becomes so much easier. So I'm listening, as you're listening a bit more now, as I'm doing this video. And what he said is you need to change your mindset. And again, back in the day, I feel like people used to speak in riddles, especially people that were positive and people that were successful. I'm trying to read between the lines, but what do you mean I need to change my mindset? And he's like, you just need to change your mindset. And he elaborated to go on and say, everything's possible. You just have to have a positive attitude towards it. And even if something doesn't work out, find the positive in it. He's like, so what you need to do, Craig, is change your mindset. Adjust your mindset, as into not can I get my next property, or can I get my first property, or can I start my business? And it's more a thing of when I get it. And this is when I'm going to get it. And this is how I'm going to get it. And I went home that day, and I really as I was driving home, I was really thinking about, what? I'm going to really try and adopt this mental attitude, this positive mental attitude, this mindset shift, and really start to talk things into existence and be positive about everything and anything. So moving on now, my first ever property that I was trying to buy, I'll share you the story. I was working in sales, and I had a really low basic wage, but I was earning really good commissions, and I was doing it for a few years, to be fair, and it never really, I was earning good money, but my basic was really low. But I was making so many sales, because I'm pretty good at sales. I didn't really pay much attention to it until I went to get my first mortgage. So I'd met my mate now, my mentor, but my friend, and he's pushing me on to get my first property. And when I went to, and by this time my mindset had changed, but when I went to go to get the mortgage and speak to a mortgage broker, he was like, I can't get you a mortgage. And I was like, why? Like, if it's 4.5 times my earnings, this is what I want to buy, I can borrow more basically, but I only want to start at this sort of level. He's like, no, it's not 4.5 times your earning, because that's not your basic wage. And I was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, that's what I've been earning. Look, last 6 months, I've been earning this. And he's like, no. So just to pause, he didn't have a positive mental attitude. Unpause. So he was like, no, because most of your money you're earning is through your commissions, the lenders can't take that into consideration. They got to take your basic and a little bit of your commission. So you can't afford really much, sort of thing. And where the mindset had already shifted and where I had a positive mental attitude, I didn't allow that to be the no and for me to not move forward. I didn't allow it. What I did was I took what he said on board, and I was like, okay, no problem. What I'm gonna do is go and sit down with a few other people, because there's a house that I really want, and I really want to put an offer in, and I don't want to lose out on it. So I'm going to sit down with a few other brokers and just, see what they think. And he was like, oh, well, you can, but they're going to tell you exactly what I'm telling you. There's no lenders out there that are going to borrow you the amount you need to buy this house that you want, because most of your money you make is through commission. So I went off, and funnily enough, I didn't let it deter me. Positive mental attitude. I went into the estate agent of where I was buying the property from, and I was just explaining, look, I want to put an offer in on this property, so on and so forth. However, this is my situation. I wanted to see if I can speak to your mortgage broker in-house and see if she could potentially help me. And I sat down with her. I'll never forget her, to be honest, because the way it all happened, it was just amazing. Sat down with her same day as I went in, and she was just like, okay, what's your earnings? Told her my earnings. What's your commissions? Told her my commissions. Have you got bank statements to match it up? Sent her the bank statements, because I already sent it to the previous mortgage broker. So I sent it to her while I was sitting in front of her on my phone. Pay slips, sent it to her. She's tapping away on the computer, tapping away, and I didn't know what she was doing. I just thought, when she's just taking my details down, she's going to get back to me. And she's like, who do you bank with? And I said, at the time I was banking with Santander. And she's like, well, what is your lucky day? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, Santander are doing I don't know, like an offer or a promotion or something, or an incentive for first time buyers that bank with them, blah 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 blah. It doesn't matter if they're taking your earnings. It doesn't matter if it's commission, or I can't remember what fully it was, but it was like the stars aligned to what I was trying to achieve and what Santander were offering. And I got my mortgage in principle in a less than an hour, with this new mortgage broker that knew nothing about me an hour before that. And then obviously I went on to get my first property. I say all of that to say this: positive mental attitude got me my first property, and it's got me my portfolio that I've got now, and it's going to get me to the destination where I'm trying to get to, of financial freedom. Positive mental attitude got me there, and it will take me to wherever I want it to go, and it can take you to wherever you want it to go. You've just got to silence out the naysayers, silence out the negative people in the comments and saying property's bad because the government are taxing all of this stuff. There's ways around everything. If buying property was bad, the rich people wouldn't do it anymore. They're still buying. The super rich are still buying today. So there's got to be a reason to why that is. And that's my mindset towards it. Positive mental attitude will take you to your destination, to your goals that you want to achieve in life. I've been Craig Parker. Till next time.